Hi everybody, it's Anne Montgomery here from The Mindful Rider. So a lot of you know that I went on a course this week, a 2-day course on digging deeper into anatomy of the horse. And this is actually my 10th year of taking this path and just researching deeper and deeper on how we affect the horse and the issues that horses often carry within their body that are a secret to only them. So a number of years ago, I had a pony that I was teaching the child on. And every time we tightened up the girth on that pony, she would start to plait, which means that she takes her front feet one in front of the other, like she's walking on a tightrope. And then when we took the saddle off or a surcingle, she would walk normally. And I was really concerned about this, and I hadn't started on this path yet. So I didn't have as much knowledge. And so we took her to the vet. And the vets had no answers for this problem that she had. But knowing what I know now, I realise that that was a compression of the girth around the rib cage, probably affecting the phrenic nerve, which lies underneath the ribs and is affected by the girth if it's too tight. And there would have been a lot that I could do now compared to back then, say 12 years ago. And so often we see horses with issues and we think, well, there's nothing we can do for this horse. It's a hopeless case. But actually, there's a lot you can do to help horses. And so if I'd only known then what I know now, I could have helped that pony so much more, and I would have been able to get her to walk straight for sure, with the saddle on or a surcingle. I would have been able to help her and take her out of that discomfort that she was feeling every time we put a saddle on her back. So let's analyse this a little deeper and talk about the pony that's plaiting and what would I do now that I didn't do then because I didn't have the knowledge that I've gained over the last 10 years. Well, first of all, I would have a really close look at the equipment being used on the pony. And I obviously checked the tack at that time, but was the girth being done too tight? And often we find that people overgirth horses because they're worried about the saddle slipping. And if they're sitting in balance, the saddle actually shouldn't slip. And so that would be my first port of call. How tight is the girth? And could we find a girth that is elasticated a little bit more in the centre and have a sternum relief girth that would allow the rib cage to expand more? So often when people overgirth, the horse cannot expand the rib cage. And this affects the breathing and affects the diaphragm. And so it would be also interesting to just note, does this pony breathe well when there is no equipment on her, or is she holding her breath then? Or does this actually only happen when the tack is put onto the horse? I would also do in-hand work to help teach the pony how to breathe well without a saddle and have movement and breathe. And you may be thinking, well, how on earth is she going to do that? Just by getting the pony to move and noticing my own breath as I'm working with the horse so that the horse could mirror me and it would also start to breathe deeper. I may even put my hands on the diaphragm and the top of the rib cage to show the horse where I would like the breath to start to go to. I would also start to notice in the front how tight are the pectoral muscles, I call them the little boobies in front when I'm teaching people. Are they really tight? Is the chest really narrow? Is the shoulders really drawn in tight to the rib cage? And by getting the horse to do work in hand without any equipment on whatsoever, would really start to show that pony how to move her body in a way that would be more beneficial, and she could let go of that brace of the legs being pulled in so close to the midline. And so it's just so interesting how posture of the horse can affect so much. It affects the mental welfare of the horse. It affects the skeleton of the horse. It affects the conformation of a horse. And so you could have a horse with a conformation that isn't ideal, but by changing posture, you can actually change a lot within that horse and make it that it is more functional and it can cope with being a riding horse and a competitive horse. So I just thought I'd hop in this morning and tell you that little story. And if you're interested, I am about to do a workshop that will start to cover the conformation and help us dig deeper into possibly the issues your own horses have. Or if you're going to go and buy a horse or go with a friend to look at a horse, you will be really well equipped at the end of this workshop to understand more about the proportions and how a horse should be put together. And knowing also what is something that you'll walk away from and something that you know that you could actually help that horse with and improve it. Because at the end of the day, there is no perfect horse. And there is no perfect human in their conformation either. We all carry things that are going on, but we manage to function. And the horses can do the same. So have a great Saturday, everybody. And I'll put the link down if you want to join the workshop and go onto the waiting list to join us on it. Thanks a lot, guys. Bye.